All right. So, for those of you who missed the lesson this week, we went over a bunch of new things. First thing is we talked about what sensors are, and our sensors actually allow your robot to take in information from the outside world. So they are literally the senses of your robot. So in this case, the first one we have right now is a touch sensor. So let's see, it looks like this. I put a little stick in it so it sticks out past the front of the robot a little bit. Um, and if you look at my ports here, you can see it's plugged into port 2. All your sensors are plugged into the numbers 1, 2, 3, or 4. In this case, the touch sensor is plugged into port 2. So you can see what happens here. If I press the touch sensor, the input number changes from 0 to 1. So that's the information it's collecting. Either it's pressed or it's not pressed. So what we did this class was we started with a steering block, plain old steering block, and we just turned it to on. Now, in order to get our robot to drive, this will just make our robot drive on and on until something happens. Now we're going to make it wait. So this wait block we've used, some of you used it in the past to do screens and sounds. In this case, we're not going to wait time. We're going to wait until the touch sensor is pressed. So now I'll do that again a little slower. So it goes touch sensor, compare, state. So now our robot drives until the touch sensor is pressed. Once the touch sensor is pressed, it will do whatever comes after this. Notice again that my touch sensor is in port 2, and up here, it's running to port 2. If those don't match, it won't do anything. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is to back up. So I'm just going to turn on negative power, and when my robot starts driving, bumps into something, in this case my hand, and it backs up. So now, the next step, it's pretty simple, will be to get it to drive around the object. So we're going to take it back, it's going to turn, it's going to go forward, it's going to turn the other way, and then it should go forward one more time. That should at least take us around to the outside of any object that is in our way. So I don't have as much space here on the desk, but we'll give it a shot. So now we drive. It's going to go back. It's going to turn. It's going to go around, and it's gone off the screen. But it does in fact drive around the object. So that was the first two parts of the lesson. The last part was we started learning how to get the robot to operate multiple things at the same time. So not only can our robot do one program like it is here, it can do lots of programs. So in this case, we're going to create a warning sound for when it touches something. So what I did was I just highlighted everything and I separated it from the wait block. Now I'm going to connect it with one of these wires. What that does is it allows me to run another program that comes back off of that. So here's that other program. We're going to connect the wire to the sound. I'm going to create a warning sound, beep, beep. And now when my robot runs, and I'm going to do, just in case you can't hear the warning sound, I can actually do a third program where I'm going to do the color. I'll change the color of the light. So now when my robot runs, you can actually see, oops, disaster. So now when the robot runs, you can actually see it change from one to the other. You can hear the sound, the honk honk, and you can see the light switch from green to red. I'm actually just going to hold it up so you can see it, the light switch a little better. So it's going to drive until I press the touch sensor, and then all those commands will happen afterwards. So that's how you run multiple programs at once. It'll be really useful when we're doing other other challenges, other things that we're going to do with our robot in the near future. So just to recap, sensors collecting information from the world. This sensor today was the touch sensor. We use the wait block with the touch sensor. So we set our robot to drive until it hits something. And then once it hits something, these multiple codes will run after it.